How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Phoenix. Right where last left off, we're gonna start our first day of the trial. Adrian did it? That's what it looks like. Dude, no way! That woman couldn't do anything like that. In court today, there will be a mountain of evidence that will implicate you. A mountain of evidence? I'm certain there is someone out there trying very hard to pin this whole thing on you. Please, Mr. Lawyer, dude, like I said yesterday, I'm refreshing like a spring breeze, alright? I can't let any sort of scandal ruin that. Understand? Well, it's almost time. Oh, it's the girl. Mia, you must get a complete acquittal today. I know. But I can't focus on Maya's situation right now. Or Pearl's either. No matter what, I have to focus on winning this case by the end of the day. Indeed, Lil. Let's get going. Beep, beep, beep. It's him. This is Wright. Good morning. This is Mr. Attorney. This is it, Mr. Attorney. The day of the trial. Maya, she's unarmed, right? Well, when I checked on her earlier this morning, she seemed a bit, how shall I say, tired. Don't worry, people don't die that easily. Besides, what you really should be concentrating on is winning today's trial. Grr. For my sake as well as yours, you must win today's trial. Which is why I sent you a little present this morning. Present? What in the world would you give me? You'll figure it out once the trial starts. And even if you don't like my gift, I expect you to graciously accept it and win the day's contest if you please. Wait! The kidnapper sent me a present? Mr. Lawyer, dude! Who was that? No one. It has nothing to do with you, so forget you heard anything. Dude, did your nose just get longer? Yo, man, he can see lies. Court is now in session for the trial of Madengard. As the prosecution and defense ready? The defense is ready, Your Honor. And where's the prosecutor? I say, Mr. Wright, what happened to Miss Von Karma? I don't know, Your Honor. Why are you getting mad at me? Your Honor! Please be quiet, bailiff. Court is in session. If you must tell me something, please keep it brief. Now then, what is it? Prosecutor Von Karma has... This morning, Miss Von Karma was shot by an unknown gunman. What? Shot? Somehow, I think this is the present that man was talking about. His present? Miss Von Karma is one of the top prosecutors in the country at the moment. If she were to disappear, it would be to your advantage. This is totally insane. Miss Von Karma, is she alright? I don't have the answer. She's alive and in stable condition. That's good. Phew. I thought he'd showed up. What's edgy, boy? Your Honor, due to the circumstances, Mrs. Franziska Von Karma cannot appear in court today. I, Maz Edgyboy, will be taking her place. The prosecution is ready, naturally. Naturally. Miss Von Karma was shot in her right shoulder and is currently undergoing surgery. Luckily, I have looked this case over and I'm familiar with the details. The prosecution seeks to prove the guilt of Mr. Matt Engard. The court acknowledges the prosecution. Right. I finally found the answer I was struggling for on my long journey this past year. My brain. I mean, by the time this case comes to an end, you too will know the answer. Now then, the prosecution would like to call its first witness. Please bring Detective Gumshoe to the witness stand. Witness, your name and occupation.
My name's Dick Gumshoe, sir. I'm a detective down at the precinct. For now.
For now?
After this trial's over, I'm supposed to turn in my badge, sir.
Detective Gumshoe? The prosecution has no need for a depressed witness. Lift your head up and face forward like a proud officer, Detective Dick Gumshoe.
Yes, sir.
Now, let's have your testimony. If you want to explore the various facets of this case, we must start with that. Get ready, Phoenix. This is going to be one very rough fight. Yeah, it would have to be with Edgyboy as my opponent. The answers to this he was struggling for. Interesting. Show me this answer. You finally found it, you boy. Witness testimony. Bare facts of the case.
This murder happened after the Hero of Heroes Award ceremony, sir. The victim, Juan Corrida, was found dead in his hotel room. After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case. However, we later found out that the guitar case had nothing to do with the murder. Except it has everything to do with the murder.
After the award ceremony ended, the victim was alone in his room?
Yes, sir. Both the victim and the defendant went alone to their rooms, sir.
I see. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Cross-examination?
This murder happened right after the heroes blah 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 blah. Press!
Would you please give us a brief timeline on what happened after the ceremony?
Okay, pal. The ceremony started at 6 p.m. It ended around 8 p.m. and then there was a short break. A special post-ceremony show was supposed to start in the lobby 30 minutes later. Let me check my court records here.
I guess so.
Gossip. No, nothing to do with this case. Some water, but found in the next to the victim. There was some water, but only on top of the lid. Wait. Okay. Alright.
And that's when the victim's body was found, correct? Which is to say, the murder occurred during the 30 minutes break period.
Please continue with your testimony, detective.
Victim John Carter was found dead in his hotel room. The person who discovered the victim's body was Adrian Andrews, correct?
Yeah.
Who is this Adrian Andrews you're talking about?
She's the defendant, Matt Engard's manager. She's a really pretty lady, sir.
Oh, so she's a pretty lady. I wonder if she will grace us with her presence.
When the post-ceremony show was about to start, she went to get Mr. Engard. After visiting his room, she was next to the victim's room to get him for the show, sir.
I see. And that's when she found the victim's body.
After looking into the cause of death, we believe he was definitely murdered, sir.
A cause of death? Wasn't that because Mr. Corrida was stabbed in the chest?
Only a careless amateur would believe something so brainless as that, pal. Take a good hard look at the crime photo. Now a real pro's attention would be drawn here to this bandana.
Banana.
His bandana, sir. That's the thing wrapped tightly around his neck, sir.
Yes, I see. His banana-scented bandana.
Then what about the knife? It seemed to have been stuck in the victim's chest on purpose after his death.
We have a crafty murderer on our hands here.
Strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife. Okay. At first, we thought there was something suspicious about the empty guitar case.
And why did you think that?
Because it was empty, pal. The Jammin' Ninja doesn't go anywhere without his bright red guitar. And we couldn't find it anywhere in the scene of the crime.
Oh, then how about this theory? A fan really wanted the guitar and did the crime to get it. How's that?
We thought of that too, but...
But?
The only fingerprints on the guitar case was the victim's.
Only the victims, huh? I see. So much for my theory then.
Empty. There was some water, but only on the top of the lid. Bears Corrida's fingerprints. However, we later found out that the guitar case has nothing to do with the murder.
And what convinced you it had nothing to do with the case?
The guitar wasn't at the Gateway Hotel that night.
Well then, where was it?
The bright red guitar was eventually found at a TV studio. The victim, Juan Corrida, had apparently only taken the case with him, sir.
So you mean he forgot to put his guitar inside the case?
Yes, sir. Even when he was on stage for the ceremony, he didn't have his guitar.
So that guitar case was empty even before he got to the hotel.
Yeah, that's right. So it really had nothing to do with the case after all.
I believe that is enough. First, the victim was choked to death with his bandana. Then, after the victim was dead, the killer deliberately stabbed him with a knife. Which brings me to my next point. Why then did the police arrest Matt Engard? Because there was reason enough to suspect him? Here he comes. Looks like Itchy Boy's back in full swing. Very well, Detective Gumshoe, please testify about this matter.
Yes, sir.
Why arrest Engard with this testimony?
That Engard and Juan Corrida were huge rivals with each other. They each thought that the other guy was in his way. That's motive enough in my book. As for evidence, there's this Jamming Ninja's button. It was ripped off at the ninja's costume and was found in Mr. Engard's hakama. The defendant's fingerprints were also all over the knife. The defendant bought the knife for the what? The defendant bought the knife for the crime, which makes this a premeditated murder.
No. So the defendant's fingerprints were found on the knife used in the stabbing.
It was sort of sticky on the handle, so the fingerprints came out pretty clearly, sir.
Where's the what? Isn't that the knife missing from when they had dinner?
And there's this button.
That was found on the defendant's clothes, was it? And is this button also covered in blood?
Yes, and we know that the blood on it's the victim's blood, sir.
What? Was ripped from blah blah blah. Yeah. All of this points very clearly to the defendant, doesn't it? Yes, it most certainly does, Your Honor. Ready to give in yet, Wright? I'll find a hole in your argument somehow. You can press as hard as you'd like. Just hurry up with your usual pointless questions. Cross-examination. Press everything, guys. Hold on right there. But in terms of popularity, Mr. Engard won, did he not?
Yeah, but you know what's ironic, pal? Juan Corrida was always one step behind Mr. Engard in everything. This year it seemed like he'd finally caught up, ready for the big final showdown. But Mr. Corrida lost the Grand Prix in the end.
That is too bad. He must have been pretty downhearted after losing. Wait just 1 second here. Mr. Engard was beating Mr. Corrida in the popularity polls.
Well, yeah, I guess, but...
Which means that in the defendant's eye, the victim was not a rival at all. Which means he had no motive to kill at all. Yes, I quite agree. Well, detective?
It's not... Well, I guess if you put it that way, then yeah, the defendant would have no motive.
Detective, I'm beginning to see why you were fired.
No, not you too, sir. Mr. Edgy, sir.
I look forward to your pension negotiation.
No!
Now, detective, let's continue with the testimony.
No, not my poor pension too.
Detective, if you value your money, I suggest you proceed.
Yes, sir. We can talk about my pension later, sir.
What was that? What about what I was about to say? Well, hello?
As for the evidence, there's the Jamming Ninja's button.
Do you have any proof that the button belonged to the victim?
Huh? What do you mean, pal?
Oh, let me put it this way. I'm asking if you have any evidence to back up your claim that this button was ripped off Jamming Ninja's costume.
Huh? But can't you tell by just looking at it? And the victim's blood is on it.
Anyone could have smeared that blood on there afterward.
Mr. Edgy Boy! Help me, sir. Mr. Edgy Boy!
Oh, shit, I'm going to die.
Alright, I knew it had to be this piece of evidence. Now to reel this one in. Thread. Huh? The button was attached to the costume by thread, obviously. And that thread snapped when the button was torn off. If you match up the ends of the thread of the costume with the thread on the button, it's a perfect match.
Yeah, that's it. They're a perfect match, pal.
Ugh. That's Edgy Boy for you. Never misses a beat. When was this button found?
Pretty soon after the body was found. We rounded up everyone who knew Mr. Corrida. And then we did a search on them all. That's when we found the button.
So it was almost immediately after the murder. The police didn't have the free time to lollygag and play tricks unlike some people. Hey, what is he trying to say here about me? I play Skyrim and shit.
The defendant's fingerprints was also all over the knife.
How were the fingerprints arranged on the knife? Huh?
What do you mean, pal?
By examining the fingerprints, you can determine how the defendant held the knife. For example, did he hold it normally or overhead?
Overhand. Oh, is that what you meant? Well, we didn't actually think of that.
I can't believe the bumbling of this department. Hopeless. Were you paying attention to the testimony, right? The defendant's fingerprints were all over the knife. There was no way to determine how the knife was held at the moment of the murder.
So the defendant, the owner of this knife, then.
But there's no way this was a premeditated murder, even if he bought the knife.
Sorry, pal. This isn't some pocket knife. It doesn't fold, so it's not great with walking around with either.
Well, this is not good. If the prosecution can prove there was premeditated murder, we're done for.
Phoenix,
Yes?
there's something very interesting about what the detective said just now. Think carefully before it's too late.
A button covered in victim's blood and a knife with Ingard's fingerprints.
Regretful, if the judge were more rash, he would have already pounded his gavel in closing.
We're still in a well of trouble. Well,
Well, before any battle, you must find your enemy's weakness. So let's find our weakness in this testimony, no matter how small it may be, okay, Phoenix?
Alright, so, what do we have a press? Time of death. Strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife. 8:15 p.m. But he was... No, wrong button. Ref of costume, bears the victim's blood and Ingard's fingerprints in the grip. Gate water is engraved. Wait, what? Isn't that the hotel? Oh yeah, it is.
it's not bought!
It belongs to the hotel.
Wait.
It can't be. What do you mean he bought the knife for the crime? It says Gatewater. He didn't buy it? What? Can I present this? Is this right? Well, music stopped, so I guess this is right.
Wait a second.
What?
So the base of your argument is that there was premeditated murder is simply that my client bought a knife beforehand.
That's right, pal. The defendant
Did not buy this knife. Huh? Take a good look at the handle of this knife and you'll see what I'm talking about. It has Gatewater seal set into the handle.
Gatewater? I think I've heard that name somewhere before.
That's the name of the hotel, the Gatewater Hotel.
Oh.
The murder knife was actually property of the hotel, which means this murder was not premeditated. Yes, that is very true. This is very big. What is it, Mr. H. Boy? I'm sorry, but the defense is simply too careless. What? I think whether the crime was premeditated.
Am I pronouncing that word correctly?
Has already been determined. How so? I admit this knife is hotel property. There is no one currently on the police force that is dumb enough to not realize this.
But I didn't...
The question is, where did this knife come from? Well, why? That's obvious. It came from the victim, Mr. Corrida's room. Sorry, Your Honor, but that is incorrect. The victim ate a last meal before he was murdered, with that being the case.
Yeah, it's still on the table.
I would like to draw the court's attention to what is on top of the table. There is a knife and a fork on the table. Then, where in the world did this knife come from? If it pleases the court, I would like for us to recall the room of the defendant, Matt Ingard. His especially what was on top of his table. There's something missing. Perhaps it is a single knife? I hope you used your imagination, because we didn't take any photos. We investigated the leftover dishes and for fingerprints, and while we were investigating, we came to the conclusion that Mr. Engard's knife was missing. Mr. Engard had gone to the victim's room with the knife he had used during dinner. Why would he carry a knife on a visit? To kill, of course. And with that, I believe the prosecution have proven this was premeditated murder. Amazing, Mr. Edgy Boy. Absolutely brilliant. A brilliant clear deduction. Maybe I should call you Mr. Edgy Man. It seems like Edgeworth had this planned from the very beginning. This must be one of those traps, and I just walked headlong into it. A murder weapon with fingerprints and a button from the victim's costume. There is quite a sizable amount of evidence here. I can safely say that any further deliberation is a waste of your honor's time. Although, I wouldn't mind if the defense were to present evidence not yet shown to the court. Evidence not yet shown? He means evidence that the court hasn't seen yet. In other words, new evidence. What does the defense have to say about this, Mr. Wright? Well, Phoenix, the judge is favoring the prosecution right now. If we answer with something wrong here, that gavel of his will be ringing out of the sound of our defeat. Mr. Wright, do you have something important and necessary to present to this court? Oh, maybe this one. Yeah, the reason for this, maybe? Shit. The tomato juice. Tomato juice. It's a tomato juice. Hang on. Good thing I have the. Oh yeah, baby. I was right. The wine glass. Just want to make sure, because I read the walkthrough that if you make one wrong mistake, you automatically lose. It's instant defeat. One piece of evidence that catches my attention. Something that this court has yet to see. Mr. Wright, I will say this one more time. I do not feel this trial needs to continue at all. However, I'm giving you one chance, and only one. What the judge is saying, right, is don't try pulling one of your usual bluffs here. If I mess this up, it's curtains for all of us. You may now present one and only one piece of evidence. Now then, what is this important evidence that you must show to the court? Wine. Glass. This is a wine glass, isn't it? Please look at a photo of the crime scene one more time. Everything is smashed over except the wine glass and the bottle. Why is that? The scene is a mess because of the victim's struggle against his assailant. The vase was broken, his makeup is all over the floor. These were all things that were at one point sitting on the top of the dresser. Well, yes, I see your point. However, this glass that is sitting on top of the dresser is mysteriously untouched. The only thing that had not fallen over along with everything else in this is this wine glass. This piece of evidence is more than strange enough to warrant further consideration. Well, what do y'all have to say? Well, yes, it is a little peculiar. Yes, isn't it? I thought it was. You can stop looking at me with those puppy dog eyes of yours now. Mr. Itchy Boy? Are you still calling me Itchy? I thought you called me Itchy Man now. What is your honor? Your opinion? You don't need my opinion. Because there is no special meaning to that glass. What? It's safe to say that the glass was set there after the crime took place. But the person who discovered the body, Adrian Andrews, for example, she could have easily been so shocked that she set the glass down without thinking. That does sound very plausible, Mr. Wright. Could Miss Andrews really have set the glass down without thinking? Do I know? Let's check that out here. Profiles. She's not a drinker, is she? No, she's an intelligent woman who seems to have it all together. No. There's no way. If I appear weak here, the trial is over. I can look for my proof later. For now, I should trust my instinct and point with certainty. They just might fall for it if you're thought-provoking enough. The defense would like to challenge the prosecution's theory. We would like to see something that proved that it was Mr. Andrews who set the cup on the table. You've turned the situation on its head yet again, as usual. Mr. Edgy Baby, do you have any proof to back up your claim? There's no he has any. He's just bluffing. Unlike Mr. Wright, I never say anything unless I have the evidence to support it. Nani? You're not thinking hard enough today, right? Did you think this wine glass escaped my notice? Then... Of course it has been thoroughly inspected. For fingerprints. Fingerprints? How else would you hold this glass, you dumbass? There are only one set of fingerprints left on this wine glass. Only one? Well, whose are they? They were not the victims nor the defendants. Rather, they were one of Adrian Andrews. What? That is why I said that the person who had discovered the body had left it there. Are we done here, Mr. Wright? I can't believe I fell into another trap. Miss Andrews was probably holding the glass when she went to see Mr. Corda. But upon seeing his dead body, she was stunned and set the glass down on the dresser. What you just said makes a lot of sense. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Now you see, right? You can't change any part of my scenario as it explains everything all too well. I thought long and hard this past year about what it means to be a prosecutor. And from here on out, I will show you the answer I have come to discover. Wait a second, Mr. Edgy Baby. I think the prosecution has provided enough evidence for me to enter my verdict. Unfortunately, I cannot allow you to pass judgment yet. The prosecution has yet another witness we would like the court to hear from. Another witness? Yes. Bailiff, please bring the next witness. What in the world is Mr. Edgy Baby thinking? Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. Witness, your name and occupation, please. Ah! Gotcha! I wonder what happened to that calm composure you had earlier. Oh, Edgy Baby! It's been, what, a year since we last met, hasn't it? You should be more happy to see me. I saw the report with her testimony, but who knew that under that helmet was the wicked witch of the witness stand? I tell you, this time I know what I'm supposed to do. So today, I'm going to tell you anything and everything. If he thinks I don't have to do with the terrible crime. Miss Witness, the terrible crime is all this court needs to know. Shush! I'm talking to my dear Edgy Baby right now. Don't interrupt us, Gramps. Yes, madam, even though you're kind of older than me. No, please, by all means, interrupt her, please. Anyway, witness, your testimony, please. It's true what they say, that youth are hot-headed nowadays. Not that I mind at all, AG. Now then, what should I start with? Witness on the security detail on the hotel on the night of the murder. Is this correct, Mr. Oldbag? It was a great job being able to see my dearie Juan. It was almost too much for my little heart to handle.
You mean you were a fan of the victim?
Look, everyone is crazy over that Engard, saying he's cute in a fresh way or something. But not me. I wouldn't say anything so silly. After all, I have no interest in that little child like him. I've only interest in real man Juan Corida. But those two were the same age. Anyway, as I was saying, I was pacing in front of his room that night. Very well, please tell the court what you witnessed that night of the murder. Oh, leave it to me, Edgy Poo. That's your new name now, Edgy Poo. What did you witness? Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around and fall away in front of his room. There was something I was interested in finding out, you know? Well, since I was on the job, I made sure to keep a good eye out for the whole time. That's when someone showed up. It was the man coming out of poor Juan's room. It was Engard, not Engard. He was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room. The fuck did I just listen to? So Mr. Engard came up from the victim's room? See, it has to be him. He's the murderer. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. What you witnessed?
Anyway, after the ceremony, I went to pace around in front of the whole blah 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 blah.
Miss Olbeck, what was your post on that night?
The lobby! I was supposed to help set up the stage for that trifling show. Or I refused to help. I'll have you know, it was for that lead-headed samurai show. Hey, I even took out a few of the nails.
Maybe it was a good thing the show didn't go on.
Besides, that manager with the glasses seemed to be working hard at it without me. So I thought I'd take a break and spread my wings a little.
And that's when you went to hang out around the victim's door?
Hold it.
Something you were interested in? And just what was that?
It's not some little thing I can just go around telling everyone, you know? It's top secret between me and Juan. Oh, and Ichipu, of course.
Mr. Ichipu, what is the thing she was interested in?
I have no idea. I despise gossip, Your Honor. Gossip? But should it prove relevant, we can always have it appended in her testimony later.
It looks like we shouldn't force it right now.
And did the witness stay in the vicinity of the victim's door the entire time?
Well, it was on the job.
Oh, then would you tell us the number of people who went in and out of Mr. Cordeda's room?
I have no idea. I wasn't born so I could count things from those who didn't pay attention in class. That's why ever since I turned 20, I quit keeping track of how old I really am.
Yes, well, that would explain why your age was not included in the report.
In any case, well, you could just ask her what year she was born in and boom, you know. The witness then saw someone, correct?
That's when someone showed up. It was the man coming out of poor Juan's room.
Who in the world was that?
I'm not allowed to say. This sort of information has to be carefully guarded from the masses, Sonny. The man that came out of Juan's room, he was.
Yes, he was?
I'm too scared. I can't say his name out loud.
Oh, what I wouldn't give to have Francisca's whip right now about now.
Well, I guess I can tell you, since he was such a bad boy anyway. It was Engard. That Engard was trying to sneak his way out of Juan's room.
You saw my client. Are you sure about that?
Yes, say.
Really?
Annoying breath. When I saw someone, I saw that person.
Why do I get a sense of deja vu? Maybe to avoid a repeat of last year, I should delve into it a bit further. What was the person's face, I guess we can say? Was he wearing a mask this time? Please tell the court about the man's face in more detail.
You don't need me to tell you about his face. That soft, gentle look in his eyes and his effeminate lips. His right eye covered by his silky hair. His sparkling...
No, we're asking about Mr. Engard, not Juan. His teeth were shining? Wait, is his teeth shining? I guess.
Well, he's shining all around us in this week's pinup post, dearie.
This week's what? Why do you? I mean, I don't care how he looks in this week's issue. Please stay with what you saw that night.
What? Engard's face is the same no matter where it is, you know? You whippersnapper?
So, Mr. Wright, was this testimony just now important or relevant in any way? It was not important. Wait, yes it is! Was he wearing a mask or not? Of course it was important, Your Honor. Objection! Then perhaps you would like to point out what part of that testimony was important? Oh, fuck! Mr. Wright, there's something much more valuable than a person's pride, and that is time. Please don't waste this court's precious time with worthless questions. Yes, Your Honor, I think I just waited a good favor. She may not remember things or be mistaken here and there, but I don't think she's lying. That's bad for us, really bad. But that's how the human mind is. It also has the tendency to jump off topic. She's strayed into a few interesting side topics this time too, hasn't she? But that makes her a sweet old lady, right? That's because you're not the one who has to question her. Alright, so it's going back and forth. So I'm gonna save here. I'll figure it out. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll give you guys a high five.